I don't know. Well, the big news for those out there in New York City is the slaying of Junior.
Yeah, that is so. It's just sad when you see all the videos. It's
yeah,
really
and the
sad.
videos. Well, to start from the beginning.
Right.
Last week, I believe it was Thursday, because some reports actually say it was Wednesday.
It was Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, because some news reports, but it was well, it was nighttime, so
It was night. Yeah.
So basically last Wednesday, Junior, well, his real name is Lesandro Guzman-Feliz. He lived in the Bronx. He left his house, told his mother he was going to pay back $5 to somebody that he owed some money to.
Okay.
And while walking down the street, not too far from his house,
Right.
he got chased
Yeah.
by a gang. And he ran into a bodega nearby, trying to get safety.
Right.
The gang that chased him went into the bodega, dragged him out, and basically sliced him up, stabbed him.
With a machete.
Yeah, machete. It was
Bad.
various weapons. Well, knives, and it was a lot. It was a lot involved.
It was a lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knives and machetes. Yeah.
So so they dragged him out and they basically stabbed him, and basically the fatal blow was to his to his neck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he bled out. Yeah.
he tried to make it to the hospital nearby. He got up, started moving fast, walking, trying to run.
It didn't help, even though the hospital wasn't far.
Yeah.
It just didn't. It didn't help. That whole situation, I'm just like, even in the video, you see people like walking around the store like nothing, and I think that's why people are really upset and they want to shut down the bodega, because it's like people were just walking around like, there's a kid bleeding, there's blood up, and people were just shopping.
Well, the police came by too, and
Yeah.
their response was not quick. I put it like,
Yeah.
not to say they didn't do a bad, I don't want to.
Right.
And especially in this case, I don't want to say that the police did a bad job, because what they did after was actually excellent.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that they did a
But the initial
horrible job.
The initial.
Right. The officers that
Yeah.
encountered him, like somebody, like there was a woman trying to help him because she was trying to stop the bleeding.
She was the only one.
Yeah.
She was the only, and I mean, she's the only person. And people are saying, like, if that was in Brooklyn, do you think it would have been the same outcome? No, I should hope not.
I don't think it was. I don't think it's
Some
borough
people would have helped.
specific.
You think
No, it's
so?
it's now. It's like when we talked about last week with the shooting of XX Tentacion.
Right.
Like he was shot in the car, and instead of everybody trying to help him or call for help, immediately, or help him stop the bleeding, do something, people are going live, and they're showing him slumped in the car. So I mean, that's just the state of the world that we're on today. Like people just reach for their phones. They just ignore a lot of. But we're especially in America, pretty much been desensitized to violence.
Yeah.
So because I guess it happens so rampant that when you see something, your instinct is like either you're just gonna walk away, ignore it, but you don't see the gravity of somebody's situation. So with Junior, him, like when one person tried to help.
And it was a woman.
Yeah, she tried to.
It was a woman, and I mean, she tried.
And then the police came.
She tried her
And
best,
their response, people are critical with the police response because they didn't immediately jump
into
into
action.
help. They were more on cop mode, like what's going on, what's happening.
yeah.
Let's try to assist the situation, as opposed to
Right.
seeing him bleeding and calling for help. Like for right away, you just get it on the radio and just calling for a
Right.
bus right away, calling
That's
for
the first
ambulance
thing
right
you
away.
do.
Right.
And then you assess the situation.
Right, but that's not what they did. They tried to, just assess the situation.
Right.
Not necessarily criminalize him, but just focus more on him and what was going on, what was happening.
Yes.
And by the time he was able to get to him to the hospital, he died. So, but the response pretty much after that was overwhelming, because the videos that you see from the bodega.
Yeah.
And inside and outside are actually clear. I mean, nowadays you see, back in the days, you see videos of,
Right.
surveillance videos, and they're all blurry,
Sketchy.
black and
no,
white.
this was
Very clear.
very
Very clear. And they basically was able to see everybody that came into the bodega, see who did
Yeah, you saw
stabbing outside.
everything. You saw Pretty much.
Everything, clearly.
I mean, pretty much you saw everything clear. I'm sure there's maybe one or two parts you didn't see too clear, but you saw most of it. And I think why a lot of people are especially mad with the bodega and wanting to close is because they claim the bodega owner knew him very well. So so people are not like, why would he allow that to happen to him if he knew the kid?
Well,
and he knew he
the
wasn't that kind of kid.
And the responses were from, and I'm, that's anybody specific, but their responses, but they didn't know exactly what was going on.
Yeah, but still, if you've known this kid and you quote unquote know he's a good kid, you still wouldn't step in, or even if you've known him and he was doing something bad, still wouldn't you step in?
And they didn't. None of the workers did it. I don't know if the owner was actually there at the time. But definitely none of the workers.
They said the owner was there. And the owner knows him. That's why people wanted the bodega closed down.
It's just just the fact that, anybody with this didn't do anything to help. Like, you see something happening and you just allow it to happen. But that's pretty, like, think about it, like, we're on the outside saying that.
Right.
But like I said, being that we're, desensitized to violence, like, living in the city, like, how many violent acts have you seen around you and you just kept walking?
Many.
Right. People getting shot. Right.
I can honestly say that.
Right.
I've seen people fighting and I'm like, it doesn't
and you just keep it moving.
Me, but
right.
that's the mentality that we have. It's not the right one, but our mentality is, it doesn't concern me, or I'm not going to get caught up in their scuffle and then I end up getting hurt or I end up getting stabbed. So
right, exactly. So that's when, people are walking by. That's how I look at it. I'm like, I'm not getting involved in that. I don't know what they have. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get stabbed over a fight that has nothing to do with me. And so, just to take ourselves out of it, because we can criticize everybody that walked by, but like, if you think about it realistically, we see fights and we see things.
You see fights on the train, you see fights on the bus, you see fights on the street. Or I've seen many fights, and I just keep it moving because it doesn't. I mean, if it's like somebody disabled, or if it's, let's say, men trying to beat up on a woman, you're gonna try and step in. But if it's two men fighting, or two kids fighting, or even two women fighting, people just figure, let them fight.
Right. And just let whatever happens.
Yeah.
And like Rose says, if you see blood, then you do something. Now the situation is it's nighttime. People pass by, like, we talking how we see things.
Right.
They're seeing a fight. They're not focusing on weapons being drawn. But when you see a fight, you don't want to be around because guns could be drawn. Especially
nowadays.
Right.
You don't know who has what. It could be a kid. They could pull out a gun.
Right. And that's why, like, and Mary says, like, people don't want to get involved because that's the reason why. Because you see stuff happening, you don't want to be a victim because more people die from stray bullets than... And
an innocent person most of the time get... People break up fights and they end up with broken legs, broken... And I'm saying to myself, I don't want to get involved in that, even though that's the wrong mentality to have, but... I don't... It's... I mean, have you ever been in that situation where you've seen like two people fighting and you've gone in the middle, or?
Oh, no, that I've gone in the middle, no.
You don't go in the middle?
Nah.
So if I'm fighting, you're not gonna go in the middle? You're just gonna let me get beat up?
If it's somebody, if you somebody I know,
you better jump in.
It's a different situation. Yeah. But I have to assess the situation as well. But
Hello, you don't need to assess anything. So you're gonna let somebody beat me up and then say, okay, let me assess the situation first?
I'll assess the situation.
Yeah, you assess
as it's happening.
Yeah, you assess it. Yeah, but
like Sabrina says, call 911. Rose says, I asked also if nobody called 911.
No.
Yeah, usually when I go to fight, because fights happen frequently in New York City. That
all the time.
To call 911 is like
all the time.
There's probably more things that
It happens all the time. We're just so numb to it now.
That's right. Think
we're very numb to things like this, and it's a bad way of thinking in our society now, but we're just so numb. We see people fighting, we see people arguing, and we just keep it moving. I mean, I've been walking down the street and I'm seeing a guy slapping a girl in the car, but hey, that's not my business.
And you just keep it moving.
And I keep it moving, but really, that's the wrong mentality to have, but that's just the way it is. Because I don't want to step up to nobody's car, and even if it is a woman and she's getting beat up, I'm not going to come in between that. I don't know if he has a gun.
Yeah.
Then I get shot for what? Not minding my business? That's the first thing people are going to say. Oh, you should have minded your business.
And I would read this. I just looked this up because I was actually thinking about where to find it. This is from the book of Proverbs. And this is the mentality that people have today. It says, like one who grabs a stray dog by the ears is someone who rushes into a quarrel not their own.
Right.
So that's the mentality. That's Proverbs 26:17. So that's the and that proverb, of course, wasn't saying that if you see something happen to ignore it, but the mentality, like you said, overall, like we're numb. So when we see things happening, our first instinct is to ignore the situation and just basically.
But it depends. If it's like somebody close to you, if it's your family, if it's a good friend, you're not just going to stand on the sidelines and kind of let anything happen. You're going to intervene, but still, you still got to kind of step back because you don't even know the situation. You don't know why they're in this argument or why they're fighting. So, it's kind of a touchy situation.
And basically, he was a good child. He was was in the police department explorer program, a detective. He wanted to be a detective, so he was in the explorer program for the police. Right. And basically, the backstory for that is he was mistaken for a guy that posted a video that looks like him. Somebody basically the people that jumped and killed Junior are part of a gang. Right. Now, someone in a rival to that gang posted a video previously with one of those gang members' sisters somebody having sex with one of those gang members' sister. Right. So it was like a retaliation. It was a retaliation because it's like you were your rival gangs and you actually have the nerve to one of your sisters, and it's like so this person had the nerve to go live posting somebody having sex with your sister, and she's 15. So they're all teens. So the guys mistook him, Junior, for that guy, and they. I mean,
look, when you're doing these things, you got to know who you're going for. You can't just think, oh, that person looks like. Talk to the person. Now, I'm not saying they should have done that, but. Come on.
It was anger because, especially when you do something like that. And he looks
a lot like the person. I'm not sure if that's the exact, but they put up a picture like side by side. And he does look like, the person, the other young man they're talking about. But then I'm wondering, what about him?
Oh, well, he's going to stay in hiding.
Yeah.
He's going to stay in hiding.
What's going to happen to him? Because if it's me, I'm jumping on a plane. I would not stay here because they're still, even though the young men are going down, they're still going to retaliate. It's like it's never finished. It's never done.
Well, I believe they're up to 8 arrests now. I believe it was only 5 people on the scene, but they're up to 8 arrests.
One of the young men, he was trying to actually board a flight.
Oh, he made it to Dominican Republic.
He made it?
Yeah, he got arrested on Dominican Republic.
Oh, so they caught him over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They caught a few of them in Jersey. Because there was gang hangout spot in Jersey. Yeah, that's what that gang that jumped them. They have a hangout spot in Jersey. So the police, New York police was able to work with New Jersey, and they did a raid on that house and caught quite a few of them there. One was in Dominican Republic. They arrested him there.
I think they caught him before he got on the plane.
Nah.
But as soon as he thought he was in easy street.
Yeah, but
he probably was chilling on the plane.
He's cooperating, so he's basically detained. But he wasn't one of the
main.
He wasn't one of the stabbers, but he was part of that whole thing. So they're up to 8 people because what they're doing now, what the police are doing now, is just trying to crack down on that whole gang because basically, it's a retaliation. So you don't just focus on the people that did that. You want to focus on the people that put the hit out. So they're asking questions about who put the hit out, who was involved, who did what and what. So they're putting everything together to make sure that this does not spill over. So because like you said, the person that actually posted a video of having sex with one of the gang members' sisters is still out there. Yeah. So they know that
find them.
The sister is actually in hiding also.
Of course.
Because people are blaming her for the death of Junior because they're saying because this wasn't like the video they posted wasn't a rape situation. It was consensual. Right. So people are saying because she's 15 and she knew she would be on videotape.
Number one, when you doing that at 15? Hello, you should be home reading a book or doing dishes or something.
This is 2018.
It doesn't matter.
People are having sex at 11, so that's a whole different story.
I don't know about that. Yeah, that's a whole other topic for the show. But I'm just saying,
So she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew she was being videotaped. So a lot of people are upset with her because they're saying that if she didn't, and they're calling her a whore and everything like that. Wow. Even the family members of Junior, they're saying like if she didn't go do that, then nobody would have wanted to retaliate and do something like that.
And he lost his life over a mistaken identity. It's like, even if he did it, let's just say God forbid, even if he did it, he still doesn't deserve to die.
But it's because it was a gang thing. Like doing something like that and posting a video, that's like throwing it in the face of the rival gang. Like
look what we did.
Right, look what we did.
Look what we did.
So
yeah.
that was rough. That was
It's
definitely
just
rough.
sad. But you know, one thing I have to say, people always are against the police, especially New York police. But one thing, when they do their job very well.
Yeah.
The
In this
detectives
case,
are very good at what they do.
And
I
in
know a
this
lot
case,
of
they
people are
got it
against the
done.
police, but I must say for New York, the detectives, they are very good at what they do. They are.
And they did a very good job.
They are. You have to admit it. They're very good at what they do. When things happen, they're on it. They're on it. So, I mean, people don't like the police, but they're the ones here protecting you. And if it's your family member, you would want somebody on the case. You would want somebody to find out who did something to your family member. You would want them to solve it, right?
And that's what happened with this case because, normally, we live in New York.
And they worked very
It's a
fast.
snitches get stitches.
But they worked very... And people don't realize, even these guys in gangs, people are watching you. When you think nobody's watching you, people are watching every move you make. Sometimes your own friends are ratting you out. And these young kids, they're not getting it in their head that everybody is not your friend. Even if you're in a gang with somebody, when it comes down to it, they're going to snitch.
Yep.
Because they figure, all right, I'll let him take the fall. Why not?
So that's what a lot of
I'll let somebody else
the
take the fall and
rival
I'll
gang
get off with a
members-
year in jail or something. But this other person might get 10, 20 years or life in jail. So
So a lot of people were helpful. Once the videos were posted,
Oh, yeah, they
phone
were
calls
on
were
it.
pouring
They
into the
were
police.
on it, yeah.
So they were able to catch people, and like you said, that's
yeah.
some friends that wanted to turn them in,
Yeah.
probably get some reward money or to get themselves away from the situation, or rival gang members that recognize them and be like, I know who that is, I know where he lives, I know where he goes to.
But not only that, people don't realize the police and the detectives, they already know all of these young kids, their movements. They think they're doing stuff and sneaking. They know what you're doing. Believe me. They know. They're watching. People don't realize Facebook. They're watching your Facebook.
Yeah.
Detectives are watching your Facebook. They're watching your Instagram. They're watching everything. People can get your phone records if they need to with a court order, and people don't even know that. So, people have to realize if they need to find out something about you, they will.
Will find out.
Yeah.
So,
So nothing is hidden, nothing is a secret anymore, and people just have to be mindful of what they do. Even when you post a picture, they can get the details of where you were at that particular time when that picture was taken. That's how good they are.
just trying to see, because a lot of people are actually into this subject right now.
The Gallery every Tuesday. Miss Stacy, Nicole Renee, and Bad Man Benny.